The script for this video was taken from a chapter of my science fiction novel entitled The Snapdragon Code by Jude Dupert-Duville, now on Amazon Books. Please watch and enjoy. It was a little after 5 p.m. and Lake Winnipesaukee was now coming into view. As Stan and his crew flew to the eastern side of the lake, several large properties were visible from the air, including Mitch's. The landing pad for the helicopters was large enough for one chopper only. However, the field right next to it was big enough to accommodate the other. Within minutes, the ladies and gentlemen with Stan's group were walking the grounds of the impressive compound and entering the spacious screened-in porch located near the edge of the fabulous teal-green waters of the big lake. A handsome staff bartender wearing navy shorts and a white tank top made their drinks to order and kept the ladies' full attention while he did. The 12-bedroom manse, nestled among the tall pines, had an expansive enclosed veranda facing the shimmering water of the lake, as well as a massive man-made waterfall and brook on the south side. The relaxing sound of running water, wind chimes, and a larger-than-life-size Buddha statue made this a perfect place to meditate. However, right now they were more interested in reflecting on the treasures of the surroundings. So after having sipped their cocktails for a few minutes, they were invited inside to take a tour of Mitch's enormous post and beam lake home. It took some time to view the place this group actually called cozy, but others might call extravagant. When they returned to the veranda, the massive 15-foot-high stone fireplace already had a good fire burning. That blaze, with its outsized logs, had no trouble warming the porch area so that it felt comfortable for dining out there in late spring. Plush pillows in teal and yellows adorned the metal-framed sofas and lounge chairs located at one end of the screened-in porch. On the opposite end were two large wrought-iron dining tables set up with colorful plates and goblets. Everything had been taken care of by the chef and household staff. In their world of minimal effort, there was no such thing as a serve-yourself buffet. A word, a motion of one's hand was all that was needed to make something happen. The servers were as adept at picking up on cues as was an auctioneer at spotting bids. Anything less to these power elites would have seemed gauche. While the women relaxed near the fire, the men gathered near the lake's shoreline to continue discussing some of the issues brought up earlier at the conference.
Mitchell, this is an impressive piece of real estate that you've got here, and it's quite private. Do you have a chance to get up here much? Stan asks.
My wife and kids do. They spend most of their summers here. I come up as often as I can, though. I take at least a few weeks in the summer, but I especially like coming up in the fall. The fall weather here, in this part of the country, is unbeatable. I'm usually here the whole month of September, except in big election years. My speedboat is moored here. It's over in the boathouse. I'll show it to you after we eat. You've got to come up some other time so we can go out on the lake earlier in the day. That boat of mine can really take some speed. It's a hell of a lot of fun. Stan, changing the subject for a moment, I know you say we're on track with our plans for population control and all that. But from what I can see, the people out there on Main Street are not liking this New World Order blueprint. Maybe we should retrench slightly. Give them a little more slack. I think they are becoming distrustful, and some of them downright angry. I mean, a lot of our hand-picked puppets are getting edgy. Some have resigned or have been removed. Protests are increasing all over the world. I mean, hell, it's even getting harder to rig elections, too many eyes on it. Mitch says as he tries to point out the possible dangers facing them. Anyway, in the event that we have to self-destruct this reality, I want to make sure our qubit codes are somewhere safe for retrieval, on an accessible, secure boundary system. That's my biggest concern. I heard you talk about this via Skype today. I understand our qubits are safe within Horus. However, until they are sitting out there on an encrypted boundary in protected space, I will not feel totally safe. Until that's done, we are vulnerable, Mitch says with a look of urgency on his face.
Hang on, Mitch. Just keep in mind that we do also have backup at the towers if something unexpected happens. You are not going to disappear, trust me. If we have to abort this reality, we will not do it until everyone's information is safely logged outside on a boundary sheet. Stan says, trying to assuage Mitch's fears. Anyway, Mitch, you're sounding just like Senny. Why do I have to reassure you guys all the time? Sure, things have not gone smoothly lately, and for that reason, we've had to speed up our timetables. Right now, deciphering and mapping of neuronal networks is sufficiently understood to be able to compel certain behaviors in humans. We can do this simply by blasting the right kind of microwaves. You will see the difference the next time we engineer a crisis. By then, these people will not even complain. We will simply be able to broadcast the right subliminal suggestions, and they will respond the way we want them to.
Oh, come on, Stan. We don't even know for certain whether this is all going to work. We should try easing up on the people a bit. I'm not saying abandon your plans, just move forward more slowly.
I would agree with you, Mitch, except the people, as you refer to them, are often unpredictable. That's what makes them so dangerous.
Hey, Stan, are we still going with the Chinese model of control? In one way, I like the Muslim model because you only have to worry about one half of the people.
No, I prefer the China model because it excludes the use of religion altogether. It's proven itself in so many ways, especially in its ability to control people through fear as well as technology. It's the only way to go, hands down.
Yes, but the Chinese people are more obedient by nature. I don't know if that model will work in other societies. Anyway, let's move on to something more enjoyable. Come down and check out my new speed cruiser in the boathouse. Follow me. I want to show you my newest toy. It's unbelievably fast on the water. I mean, it handles like a sports car. It's a 57-foot cigar boat by MTI, and it has 4 quad engines that put out over 1,400 horsepower. And what do you think of her?
I want to ride on it now, that's what I think.
Then he follows it up with a wolf whistle. 1 minute later, the men are putting on life jackets and the boat's engines are firing up.
As Mitch is calling his wife with instructions. Candace, tell the chef to feed the girls first and keep our food hot until we get back. We're going out for a short ride on the boat. We'll be back in about half an hour.
Well, girls, I just got a call from Mitch. The guys are going out on the boat for a while. I guess we will just have to have fun all by ourselves. I think we can do that, right?
Instead of taking seats at the dining table, the girls decide they want to stay comfortable sitting by the fire.
That's a damn large diamond you're wearing there.
What, you mean this? It's only a 4-carat moissanite that I had put into my own setting. To tell you the truth, this fake is more brilliant than a real one, and now I'm not so worried about losing it. I'll tell you why. I lost my original engagement ring, and Senny never let me forget it. I was real upset about it for a long time until I found out about the diamond cartel's dirty little secret. I guess the diamond industry had seen a serious slowdown in their business in the last 2 decades. You know, less marriages, the economy, and all that. The big diamond companies had accumulated such a surplus of stones and such a drop in profits that they decided they had to do something. So, they came up with the idea of marketing the surplus real diamonds as lab-grown stones. Then they slashed the prices by more than half to stimulate sales. It was the only thing they could do to save themselves. The funny thing is that most of the new diamonds you see on women's hands today are real and they don't even know it.
Well, I wouldn't have worried about losing a diamond if I was married to Senny. I mean, his family and diamonds are almost synonymous. I'm surprised he even noticed it was missing.
Well, he knew that it upset me a great deal when it happened. That's why he finally told me the truth, that lab-grown stones are actually surplus real diamonds. The funny thing is, now that I'm wearing this so-called fake, that's what upsets him.
After a few minutes more of girl talk about the fashion scene in New York City, one of ladies changes the subject and says,
You know, I often wonder about Stan's private life. Why isn't he married at his age, or at least seeing someone? I know he's not gay. Remember his exploits with that other woman? I forget her name. Yeah, that's right. She was part of that Roman scene that Stan was into. She played Cleopatra, and he used to call her Patra. Do you remember that? I think he was totally stuck on her, and I think he still is, but I would never bring it up to him, not with his temper, that's for sure.
Tara says almost hesitantly as the boys in the cigar boat speed past them, causing the water's wake to splash up against the cement wall, not far from them.
Well, girlfriends, I sat almost directly opposite Stan at the conference today, and I did notice him pretty much flirting with one of the servers at our table. I couldn't help but notice. When we all went on break after lunch, I saw him still talking to her, and now that you say it, this woman did resemble Patra an awful lot.
Wait a minute, I think I actually have a picture of that girl on my phone. Hold on and I'll check it.
As the girls wait, they can hear the sound of Mitch's speedboat coming closer again.
Here's the photo. She's standing right there to the side of him, and you are right. She does look a lot like Stan's old, how should I say it, love interest.
Marilyn says sarcastically as she sees the guys stepping off the dock and coming closer.
We will return to this topic later.
Well, boys, it's time for some barbecue, now that you've kept us all waiting.
The 6 men then assembled at the table to have their meal, while the women stayed seated in front of the fire, to be served from a portable table quickly set up for them by the help.
Man, the ride was a lot more exciting than shipping out on my yacht, that's for sure. I damned well am going to buy one just like it, and I think Rachel will enjoy it as well. By the way, some of the places directly off the lake here, especially yours, are not only impressive but also private. That's what I'm looking for.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for exactly. I want a place to get away from the big city whenever I'm on this continent. I like this area enough to buy a place nearby.
Stan announces to the group, without admitting the real reason he was thinking of buying on the lake. Evie lived somewhere near here, and he was going to find out where.
Stan, are you still watching the green dot for us?
Stan looks around at the men and realizes he'll have to explain what Ori just asked him.
Oris is referring to the GCP, or the Global Consciousness Project, that monitors the random number generators around the world. You know, to see if they are being affected by people's moods. It gives me a good reading on our randomicity levels, in addition to what my lava lamps show me. Occasionally, I even compare my readings with Lavarand's to watch for any variances.
So Stan, how do you explain the apparent deviations from randomness, even before something major is going to happen?
Simple. We, and by that I mean the Illuminati, are usually involved in planning and preparing these events. Are we not? Well, that randomness is being affected by our own thoughts, as well causing the egg generators to react beforehand.
So you're saying that a mere 300 or so elites can influence these machines just as strongly as the entire population of the world?
Yes, I believe that's completely possible. What else could it mean?
I don't know, Stan, but it's damn curious. Have you seen that woman physicist? You know, the one with the German accent? She's the one who keeps putting out those videos on determinism. Anyway, she would say that it's caused by a bleed back in time, because the future is already determined. She claims boomerang impulses from the future can affect the present. We are just moving into the predetermined future on our journey through space. Have you run this by the Oracle?
No, I don't have to.
This idea that things were already set in stone was not what Stan wanted to even consider. Then Stan checks his watch. Feeling it was a good time to change the subject, Uzi speaks up about the global collateral accounts owned by the Dragon family.
Stan, I'm surprised you didn't talk about the committee's battle with the Eastern Bloc over the Mintang gold. I'd like to know what's going on with that. I mean, the Fed wants us to make this all go away, but there's just too much money and gold owed to the Dragons. As you know, some of this once again goes back to the Bretton Woods Agreement and before. I don't see this debt obligation going away, even if we go to war with them.
First of all, Uzi, you're forgetting that we control the Fed. Look, indirectly we've been working with the Chinese to resolve this for many decades, and at the same time working to keep the details of what actually happened from the rest of the world. No easy task.
Stan explains while upset that this subject had to be brought up at all. Once again, Stan wondered why this situation had to be written into the program at all.
I mean, in a sense, we've already transferred more than half of the U.S.'s wealth, including most of the gold at the fort, as well as patents and even jobs over to China in the past 30 years, as a form of settlement. So in that sense, they are being paid back. Besides, there are so many conflicting parties involved with this and so many groups stealing from each other that no one wants to have to show their cards just yet. However, I do know one thing. No matter how much more the Dragons get reimbursed, it won't come out of our own pockets, and it won't be worth nearly as much as what we took from them over the past century. Anyway, we'll see what happens. The game isn't over yet.
Stan says as he checks his watch once again. It was a little after 7 p.m. and the lovely lake sunset had just wound up its act.
Will, Mitch, we all had better start getting ready to leave. Everyone here is tired. It's been a long day and a long weekend. On behalf of everyone here, I want to thank you and Candace for this lovely stopover and this delicious barbecue, and, if I can speak for all the guys here, thank you for the exhilarating ride on Rocket One. You know, I'm learning to like this part of the country. I'm serious. Do me a favor. If you hear of anything in the area coming up for sale, I mean a large private lot with some acreage, let me know. I intend to start looking into it right away, unless, of course, you want to sell me your place.
Stan says to Mitch as they both start to laugh, although Mitch got the feeling Stan was entirely serious.
There's a real estate agent in the area that I've gotten to know. Why don't I give her a heads up that you're interested, and let's see what she can come up with. How's that?
Mitch says, always happy to be of service to Stan, knowing what benefits could ensue down the road. After everyone had a chance to say their goodbyes, the group follows the well-lit path down to where the helicopters are waiting. As Stan's caravan of the wealthiest ladies and gents of the world fills the two choppers, Stan starts to relax as they take off, feeling somewhat victorious. This has been a successful weekend, he tells himself now, thinking that from now on, life will be better for me and for the woman who has come back into my life.